Okay, so we'll start out taking a look at Money in the Bank. Oh, I couldn't find it. If you get a chance while we're talking about this, if you can find what the actual runtime of the show was, because I added up, it was another one of those. Remember how it was like this much in-ring action? Because I remember how much in-ring action it was, because I already added that up. But that would be quick anyways. But I couldn't find like complete runtime, like 3.5 hours. What are we talking?
Um, I just Googled it and you didn't give me a straight answer, so I'm gonna see if I can
Yeah,
look
I know.
into it.
So,
But
anyways, I'll start talking about it. The introductory package, and they did the same theme for Heatwave, right? It was like the heist, and it was like kind of animated stuff going around
this
and
one was really cool
voiceover.
though. I thought
I thought
like
it was cool looking.
it felt like an NXT one where they usually put in some effort into it. So I thought this one was actually
You're
quite
right; it did feel like that, and they used the same motif for Heatwave as
that.
well.
No,
The
wasn't
next,
that one? It was like they were selecting matches off the network or something like that.
oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it was
right.
different.
That was different. So the opener for this is the men's Money in the Bank match. So that's Jey Uso, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre. We had both chosen McIntyre to win this. I think I had an amazing weekend of predictions, by the way.
I think I was
I was
wasn't
might have
I?
been
No, I
almost
think I
flawless.
was. Who won? I think I
I
was
maybe missed
flawless on Money in the Bank.
I maybe missed one all weekend, I feel like. But we'll see. We'll find out. So for this one, Uso and Knight end up in the ring alone early. They both dive onto people on the outside. Drew gets a ladder, takes some people out with it before setting it up and climbing really early in this. It felt like right away we were like halfway through this somehow. Gable races up the other side, applies an armbar to Drew on the ladder.
Juge,
Sorry?
Juge.
Yes, a Juge, which sort of leaves him lying outward, and then Andrade, remember, hits a springboard leg drop to Gable
Yeah, that was cool.
as he's applying the hold. So that looked good. Mello hit a springboard clothesline to take Andrade off of a ladder, looked good. Andrade hit a Spanish fly to Mello off the second ropes onto a ladder lying on the mat, which looked pretty awesome. Jey Uso, sorry, this is editorializing now. Jey Uso has so much go away heat with me that I'm just not feeling any of these dramatic matchups that they are selling. I had facing off with Nate early and Drew later were supposed to be like a big deal, and I'm just like, I don't. And I think the crowd kind of cares, but I just don't. There's nothing he
I
can
don't
do.
buy him as this main event guy.
Me either. Gable with a deadlift German to Drew before catching Mello's springboard attempt and countering it with Chaos Theory. That was a cool little sequence. Um, Michael Cole informs us that you need legs to climb, which I thought was a very helpful, very insightful observation. Knight with a neckbreaker to Gable onto a ladder lying on its side in the corner, I thought looked good. Drew powerbombs Gable onto a ladder leaning in the corner. We get a Knight blunt force trauma to Drew immediately, followed by an Uso splash as the baby faces are sort of teaming up here on Drew McIntyre. We get a Knight Uso yeet punch exchange on top of the ladder before Mello tips it over, dives onto Gable on the floor and hits nothing but net to Uso back in the ring. Hayes and Andrade on top of a tall ladder. Andrade hits a sunset flip bomb off the ladder to Mello onto another ladder, which I'm pretty sure he's done before,
He
but it
did it to
looks
Balor in 2019.
it looks awesome every time, no doubt. Gable with a belly to belly
He also did
over.
it to Murphy or Buddy Murphy when they had that ladder match on Collision for his mask.
Oh, right. Yeah. Gable with a belly to belly overhead release to Knight over the ropes
On a ladder bridge.
onto a ladder spanning, yeah, the apron to barricade. Crazy. Gable grabs the briefcase, has his hands on it, but Jey Uso moves the ladder and Gable's now just hanging off of the case, right? Like just
Yeah.
dangling
And he
from
just
it.
goes full face plant.
He does. So he falls, lands face first on the mat, gets speared by Jay.
Yeah, Jay didn't do the edge spot. He's a lame-o.
Jay climbs up, but Drew throws a ladder right to knock him off.
Yeah, he just
Looked
like
pretty good.
javelins a ladder at his face, which was pretty sick.
And hits a claymore. Drew climbs up, grabs the case to win. These matches are known for being kind of long.
16 minutes.
Right. Like, no
I thought
wonder
the
it started
women's
out
felt
hot.
longer, but the women's is only 20 seconds longer.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, I would have gone like another 5 at least.
So can you look up cage match ratings? If you just Google, and then you can talk about that after we give our ratings. Because I feel like when it comes to Heatwave, for sure, we're not as high as some people were.
People love that show.
I had fun.
I liked it.
Me too. Anyways, I thought this ladder match was fun, but it kind of lacked any drama for me. The major favorite ended up winning, right? That we both predicted. I didn't think there was any storytelling outside of the larger, like five guys trying to win a briefcase. You know what I mean? I don't feel like anything was furthered or developed really. Nothing happened with Gable and the Wyatt Six, which
This one was 7.47 based on 479 votes.
Okay, so I'll be under that. Nothing with Gable and the Wyatts, right? They seem to just take a pause of torturing Gable, even though it was the largest stage, which feels a little inconsistent, but maybe they don't
I'd
want to.
actually say the stage is the exact same size as usual.
Maybe they
So
didn't want to bring Spooky into the PLE, which is fine. Essentially, a spot fest to entertain fans before kind of like an inevitable finish, I thought. However, some of the spots were cool. The match was fun, but it felt short. Kind of so short, nobody really stood out. Like the Andrade spot's
I'd say
memorable.
Andrade and Mello were
The
probably the
ladder
most
being thrown
noticeable.
was kind of
Yeah.
memorable, right? Everything was at least solid, fun watch. I was hoping for better. I went 3.5 stars, so
I
under.
would agree. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was fun, right? But I don't
It
know.
was
Didn't
good, but it could have been better.
I agree? Few thoughts on that one, eh? Intercontinental
I mean,
Championship match.
it's so short. I think you covered my
I
bases.
did. Sorry, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I just made a note. I don't remember now, but in the moment, not a fan of Braun's new theme.
I thought it was solid.
Yeah.
I don't like as much as his original one, but
I did like the story going into this that basically the overpowering rookie is basically the favorite, right, against the veteran champion, which is kind of cool. After a brief Braun power display, Zayn's in control early. He hits a split-legged moonsault to Breaker on the floor. Rope running clothesline by Braun when
it's
he's
an
going
Arabian press actually.
super fast, was it? Stops Zayn's run. Breaker takes over. We get a belly-to-belly overhead by Braun, a running knee to the seated Zayn in the corner. Another belly-to-belly out of the corner. Knuckle lock into a Zayn tornado DDT out of a corner as well. Sami tries a moonsault off the barricade. Breaker catches him, but Sami slips out, runs Braun into the ring post. Sami's attempt at that running, diving DDT across the corner is cut off by a clothesline on the floor.
Because
Looked
Breaker
pretty
runs
good.
around too fast.
Yes. Braun spear countered with a kick and a blue thunderbomb for 2. That's a complaint I've heard is people don't like that his spear attempts were stopped by like little kicks by Sami. But
Isn't that something people do though?
and if you're running super fast, it's gonna hurt. I don't know. Braun hits a Frankensteiner for a near fall. Sami leapfrogs Braun like he did on Raw to get away from the spear, but Braun stops before running into the steps this time. Braun leaps onto the apron. I have a la redacted, and hits a leaping clothesline to Sami into the announce table. Braun comes away from that, selling his knee a little bit. Sami slides out of a gorilla press, hits an exploder into the corner, looked good. Haluva kick countered with I think it was a high knee. Then the gorilla press slam that Breaker hits. Follow up spear countered with another kick. And one measly Haluva kick, and it's over. And this was under 14 minutes too. Like
13-15.
right, like fast, right? So what were your thoughts? I'll let you go so I don't stomp
I
on
thought
everything.
it was solid, but like underwhelming. And like again, I feel like it could have go longer. It's like I don't want main roster PLEs to drag on forever, but I feel like now they're in a too much of a rush every time.
Well, and almost it still drags on forever, I would argue. It's just
Less
because
wrestling.
we're not watching it live, we skip all, but there's hours of stuff in between these matches, right?
Yeah. It's like I don't know why you don't either add more matches or beef up these ones. And like I've seen people complain about Zayn calling him like Hogan, 'cause he'll like take an ass kicking and then somehow eke out the win.
He
But I don't
does.
think it's the same thing.
And one thing I noticed in this, maybe in direct comparison, was we love Braun, like we think he's really good, but I think his selling wasn't the best. Isn't the
No,
best.
and like
And being right beside Sami, who's so good at it, right?
yeah, and taking one Haluva kick is kind of disappointing. Like it does kind of shoo away Breaker in a
We
way.
we did pick Sami. I know I picked Sami.
I think I did too because I was on the fence.
So we both thought it was coming, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Braun had won.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, and I would like this to be more, I don't know,
He didn't.
competitive, and then also have Braun like take more before he loses at least.
I was just gonna say he never looked like he sustained enough damage for one Haluva kick. This is Braun Breaker. The way you've presented him, right?
Yeah.
It should take more than this. I was hoping he would look more dominant and that like Zayn could still win through guile or whatever somehow,
Yeah.
right? But I don't feel like they went all the way with that. So I said solid like you, but I went 3.25.
I don't even know if I liked it that much. Like I'll go
You're
3. Yeah.
3 stars. All right. Then we get
Oh, sorry. That also got 6.53 based on like around the same amount.
So that's
of votes.
right in line with me.
446.
So right in line with mine, right? If you double mine,
3 3/4. It says.
3 and 3.
Oh, from Observer.
That's high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
they're on there too. So you can give
So
both.
the opener was 4.
4. Wow. Okay. I feel like we're tough markers a little bit.
More so with this too, because it's just I don't enjoy it as much.
I just know for me what a 4-star match is, right? And so I think people would say...
Ghost Jam liked our post in real time.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that...
I posted, I think it was Black Arrow.
Oh, nice. I can't remember what I was saying.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It was something about Melter, wasn't it? Oh, wait, no. Tough Grader.
Oh, because like I know what a
There we
4-star
go.
match is. I think people would say to us,
Well, and
we give a lot of 3.5, 3 3/4.
We're not exceeding the 5 stars either. It's different when
Right.
you can break your own scale.
Like 3 3/4 is a good match.
Yeah. 4, we're starting to go into great. You know,
Starting to be like I was engaged the whole time. This is super good.
5,
Anyways,
5 star. It's like Osprey Omega.
this next
Oscar
match
Danielson.
is not an example of that. Unfortunately, it's the World Heavyweight Championship. At least for me, I shouldn't speak for you. We haven't talked about it. Rollins versus Priest. So both go for big moves early
Rollins
on.
in white gear. What up?
None land. True. We get a broken arrow in less than 2 minutes, and this is where I said to you, like, I feel like they're not getting much time.
15:48.
Because it's like broken arrow, jumping flatliner in the first 2 minutes. Like, we're already, which is fine. You can start out hot. I'm not complaining. And if you're only getting...
I mean, do you want to guess what the longest match was?
The main event? Yeah, that makes sense.
Bloodline.
So we get Rollins Sling Blade to turn the tide. And this is a recurring thing, right? They're sort of looking because they're assuming Drew is going to come down because he's called his shot. So there's a lot of checking the ramp and whatnot, right?
Because he's a dumb babyface.
Which does annoy me. Like, McIntyre's not. Anyways, we'll get there.
Oh, I didn't mention that segment from Raw and High Spot. Oh, I assume you did. So we'll
for sure I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah. Rollins, Swanton, Lion Salt combo, the commentary.
They would not stop mentioning how new it is. And I know for a fact he's been doing it for months now. Because I remember he busted out, like, I want to say...
I knew it was coming. My note even says...
I want to say
Jack
he
is
busted
annoyed.
it out when he started as World Heavyweight Champion. So, like, over a year ago. And so it's relatively new. I will say that. Because in the span of his career, sure. But... to act like it's brand new and he's busting out new crap in his repertoire, I'm like, no,
it's
not. I literally, like, it's so not new that the Springboard Swanton's, like, in his 2K moveset.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's literally in matches on the new 2K.
Actually,
I've been, like, hitting a Springboard Swanton and then trying to do a Springboard Moonsault after as fast as I can because I know it's in his repertoire. So, like, when I play as him, I try to hit that combo. So
how could you? It's brand new.
Exactly.
Just downloaded it.
It's not even that they mentioned that in passing. They like.
Oh, they hit it.
They kept going at it. I'm like, it's not.
Yeah. Rollins stays in control until a headlock driver by Priest, like the old
a la
school.
Dean Ambrose. Yeah.
Right.
Good pull.
Spot of awkwardness, like a Rollins counter to Priest coming off the ropes. There was a little bit of what's going on there. Forgivable. Leads to Rollins running knee and a frog splash for a near fall. Priest seems to be quickly checking for Drew as he works Seth over in the corner.
They both were many times.
Leads to a buckle bomb in the opposite corner by Rollins, quickly followed by a sit-out power bomb by Priest for 2.
Liger bomb.
Michael Cole said the words Dean Ambrose, right?
I know. Like, I feel like this is also the new regime. They're not completely afraid to mention him. Like, I saw
other people exist in other places.
A couple weeks. Well, it's not even like they're not mentioning Moxley because they did drop Mox's name in the Rollins Reigns feud. I think in early 2022.
Yeah.
So, but like they're just full. Like I think I saw a couple weeks ago they posted like a Shield highlight thing of their original run. And, like they full on show and mention Dean Ambrose. 'Cause I think back when they were doing that feud, they just like kind of cut Ambrose from footage as much as they can. So it's interesting.
Either people are in the know enough to know the situation already, or they're so out of the know that when you use a different name, they don't know who you're talking about anyway.
Exactly. So there's really nothing to
doesn't really matter
lose from that, right?
Other than stupid pride, I think was the previous.
Yeah, and like not wanting to give any oxygen to anybody else. Really.
Right. Strike exchange. Some spinning kicks from Priest. Couple counters lead to Rollins stomp for a near fall. Rollins.
It wasn't the best stomp, I thought.
I don't remember.
His foot kind of like raised his head and then he went down. Yeah. Because he was kind of running from behind this time.
Rollins talks trash to Priest as the crowd performs his theme. Priest fires up, hits a razor's edge or whatever. Does he have a name for that? I don't know.
No.
Or the ego's edge.
That's ego.
I say, what story are they trying to tell about Rollins? Graves goes on and on about being Rollins' best friend and maybe Rollins is too old and has too many injuries. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
I mean, yeah, he has too many injuries, but...
Are you shoehorning this? I felt really like stapled onto this at the last minute.
I guarantee you it's simply because they were in NXT at the same time.
And I watch Raw, so it's not like it's like, well, you don't watch Raw. They made reference to it. I don't think they did.
I feel like we would have known.
Anyways, suplex, counter, Falcon Arrow, and the ref stops the count.
Priest did not kick out.
So apparently Drew's music was supposed to hit there.
But that, like...
And then the referee looks up and stops the count.
but he just
Because music is very powerful.
in wrestling
It is
true.
canon.
That is true.
Super powerful.
It has been established.
Because in the moment, I thought maybe Priest actually was out for a second.
That's what I thought. He looked like he got
that's
knocked
possible.
loopy,
Who knows?
I guess. But...
So Drew's music does hit. That's why it's suspicious, right? It's right after that. He comes out, cashes in, which I think is so. We go on and on about how dangerous it is in triple threats and blah, blah, blah. And like people get upset when matches get made triple threats because now they can lose without him. And I know they've taken damage and that's going to be the defense. But he looks dumb cashing in for a triple
successfully.
threat. Right. And I guess that's the callback too. But at the end of the day,
I think it's
strategically that's dumb.
The reason I think it's dumb is because he called his shot already.
That too, and you
didn't have to be beholden to that. No one was beholden to that.
Baby face with Punk situation. You're technically a heel,
and even if he is a baby face, then dumb baby face.
Right.
Like
so, Priest stops Drew from hitting a Claymore. Punk attacks Drew, chokes him with a cable, hits him with a chair. And then my note says, and more editorializing, and there, folks, is your babyface champion, babyface in this story.
It doesn't make sense,
right? Belt shot by Punk, south of heaven from Priest, and it's over. What did you say, 14 and something?
15:48.
So almost 16 minutes. Another pretty short one. Your thoughts on this one?
Even shorter if you count the cash in as like a separate chunk.
True. Yeah, I guess so, right?
Because the cage match has it listed as
more like
Priest beats McIntyre and Rollins, so that's encompassing the whole shebang. Yeah, right.
Right.
Like, I thought it was a fine match. Like, honestly, again, I just don't think the Priest title run's working for me. I don't care for his promos by himself. From what I've ever seen, like McIntyre's the more interesting part to me. Rollins, I think, is more interesting to me.
He's like almost, you know how there's sometimes those wrestlers
he's
that
almost
are almost everything.
He'd be a good mid card champion.
He has the look, got that right.
I don't know if he even has the look because people call him bisexual Undertaker all the time.
He can almost talk. He can almost work really well.
I liked him in NXT, but it's just I don't know. It's just not working.
He's not
me.
A main title guy.
No, and I think this has been a fine test run, but it's not something I feel the need to revisit.
No.
And personally, for me, I think they put put your eggs in the wrong basket or something like that.
Put all their eggs in one basket,
or something like that. Because you could have given you could have given the LA Knight the briefcase when you gave it to Priest,
and
I think that would have worked out way better. Because Knight's never been accused of being a ring general, but he's got the character and the promo work where Priest doesn't. He's got stuff to make up for it.
Yes.
And they still haven't given Knight anything.
He's a sports entertainer.
They've given Priest tag titles multiple times and the world title, and I think they bet on the wrong horse.
And we're not even huge Knight guys, but he fits their profile.
Absolutely fits what they want, especially
but he's old.
Under the old regime.
I think.
So is Priest. Priest is not youthful.
No, he's not.
Priest is not young.
Martinez?
That's what the people were saying in Money in the Bank last year. It's like, oh, they don't want to push Knight. He's too old. Priest is not young either.
He's not.
So it really doesn't make sense. And so I thought this was like, they've had multiple outs. Like they could have given it to McIntyre here. They could have given it to McIntyre a month ago. But they're obsessed with running the same stupid finish with Punk.
Yes.
This is the second month that's basically they've done the same thing twice. And why is Punk allowed to be here and cost the matches with no repercussion? Which I think they got fined, but that means nothing to Punk at this stage in his career. I guarantee that means nothing.
Yeah.
In kayfabe and in real life.
Because he got fined $25,000, and he's even like money well spent.
Exactly.
Or whatever. Like he doesn't
and
care.
like what about for when he cosplayed referee? Like who let him do that?
Right.
Why does another referee get to make that call? Why didn't she? Jessica Carr, the female referee.
Yeah.
Why didn't she go out and do it instead of letting some guy is biased?
You didn't know why he wanted the
referee.
jersey.
That's bull. It's just like, this is your baby face.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Like, and this is an absolute waste of the contract. This is almost as bad as the Money in the Bank fiasco of 2022.
Led to a great interaction on Raw, though.
It did, but like, it's just so dumb. Like, why did you waste the briefcase like this? Like, I almost would rather you don't give it to Drew then.
You gave it to a strong heel, which they love, to have the strong heel chase for almost a full year. And
to me, it's like
tease cash-ins and weasel
they
out.
know they're going to give the belt to Gunther, and they don't want anyone to interrupt that.
Feels like
so they just wanted to discard the briefcase as fast as they could.
That's probably a fair take.
Which is stupid. Because like McIntyre could hold the briefcase for however long, and Gunther could still get a decent run. And then if you don't want to go full on with Gunther yet, guess where your out is? Then you could have McIntyre cash in mid-match, and he could win it. Gunther could be blameless.
I will say they've built Punk and Drew to be big enough to not need a title at all. I think that's the right play.
I think they have done that, but I don't think they've done it well. Like they've done it. they've given it stakes, but they haven't done it in a smart manner. Because again, why is Punk allowed to do all this?
That's fair.
The we've said this already, but the acts are not proportional.
No.
Like McIntyre has just been talking shit online for months, and then Punk cost him matches for the main title on the show.
He stole
3
a
times.
50-cent bracelet.
He stole a bracelet, but Punk cost him his hometown. Oh, McIntyre beat him up.
Still not even
in his hometown once. Yeah, like so Punk cost him a Mania, which was stupid, but like okay, but then he cost him his hometown, and McIntyre beats Punk up in his home in Chicago once, and Punk's like, oh, now it's not even.
Yeah.
If anything, it's still uneven in McIntyre's favor. Like
Right.
it's just it makes zero sense, and I know we're straying away from the match, but like it's just dumb.
So I gave the match 3.5 stars. I thought it was on the better than average,
3.25,
but nothing amazing.
4.9 based on 450 votes, and
4.9.
3.75 from the Observer.
Wow, that's a big difference. Right, but who knows? I mean, the sample size is decent on.
The rating for
cage
the
match,
women's ladder match is something.
So Money in the Bank by the numbers segment followed
I feel
a
like
lengthy.
they should have started with that, because usually the Rumble, don't they do that earlier
they do.
on?
It followed a lengthy Gunther video too. So I put usual well-produced filler.
Too many videos.
Yes, too many. Then we get the women's Money in the Bank match. It's Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark. This match stole the show for me. I thought this was pretty easily the best thing on this show, I think. So right away, everyone leaves Green in the ring alone, and because they know she's doing this Afraid of Heights thing. So she has a ladder but won't climb it, which is, I like the way that comes full circle with the end too, because she goes from being afraid of heights to trying to conquer that fear and it not working out super well for her. EO dropkick Stratton into a ladder in the corner, and then running double knees as Stratton's up against the ladder in the corner. Lyra comes in, backdrops EO onto the ladder. Lyra fisherman suplex to EO onto a ladder. Like, there's non-stop stuff in this, I felt like.
Well, I mean, they only have less than an episode of TV, like regular show.
That's true. This one didn't go long either, so there's a lot.
Like I said, it was 20 seconds longer than the men's.
So what's that, like around 17 or
16,
something?
50, around 16.
Crazy. Stark with a springboard dropkick out of nowhere to stop Lyra's run. Stark catches Lyra and Samoan drops her on the edge of a ladder. Zoe then misses whatever she was going for from the top. Naomi with Thez presses her onto a ladder, then lands that split-legged moonsault she does to Stark.
I want her to hit a rear view with a ladder.
Yeah, there you go. Stratton with a smooth transition into an Alabama slam to Naomi on the ladder.
Was impressive, like just the quickness she did that with.
The crowd is chanting Tiffy time. She's got something right, even though she's a heel. Like, people love her. Graves,
remember how popular she was in the chamber match in Australia?
Yes, huge. Graves is defending a quiet crowd multiple times that I don't think is that quiet.
It's not like that bad, and that happens sometimes. It hasn't stopped them from not caring like a million times, or pipe stuff in then.
And then Stratton hits a swanton to the rest out on the floor. Green works up the courage to climb a ladder, but Io hits her with another ladder. Lyra gets trapped upside down on a ladder, and Io stomps her. Lyra with a tarantula German to Io off of the ladder looked kind of cool. Naomi's doing splits across 2 ladders and manages to DDT Zoe Stark still. Green stops Naomi from getting tables, runs her into the steps. Green and Stratton join forces to set up a couple tables at ringside, right? As Graves defends how slowly they get it done. They're not used to dealing with tables or whatever it was.
I remember.
It wasn't even, again, it wasn't the worst, like, wrestler versus table.
I was thinking Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville at SummerSlam 2020. That was awesome. Mandy versus table.
This one wasn't that bad. Elaborate ladder setups in the ring, like kind of a waste of time if you really look at this match. But anyways, we get a Starks decapitator to Stratton into one of the ladders, right? A one-armed power bomb to Lyra off of a ladder onto a ladder bridge. Green kind of gets the unprettier to Naomi on a ladder that Graves calls ugly as hell, which was pretty accurate. Io and Stark battle on top of a ladder right at the case, and then it's a Michinoku driver off
Something
of that,
yeah.
very tall ladder onto a ladder bridge from Io to Zoe Stark.
That was pretty crazy. Io did some stuff here.
Yeah, she did. Chelsea is up on a really tall ladder, almost unhooks the case, but Stratton has climbed a ladder right beside, pushes Green off the ladder through
big fall through the tables. Amazing.
Through both, and you could see her sort of get her arms out of the way too, to not like, it's like, I think she's done this spot before somewhere. Anyways,
Probably.
through 2 tables on the floor.
Nailed
looked
it.
amazing. Stratton grabs the case for the win, like we said,
Also
about
picked.
17 minutes. We
Absolutely the right decision.
both
for
picked
sure.
that. I thought this match was pretty terrific.
It was definitely entertaining.
It'll be a finalist for Women's Match of the Year, probably for me, because there's nothing that's blown me away this
I'll
year.
note it, yeah, because that's probably smart.
These women went all out in this 17 minutes, and some really memorable spots. Like, again, I don't think the storytelling and world building or whatever was amazing, but I felt they did a lot more than the men did this year. So I thought Lyra, Io,
With the
Green,
same amount of time, basically.
Stratton, Stark all had super impressive showings. This ended up, I thought, being a gem on this show. I think the right person won. Stratton can do a lot with this case, right? It really suits her character. I heard somebody, I wish I could give them credit. I always say that, but I don't remember things. That she should have, like, if this is her case, she should have a purse strap on it and wear it
Oh,
like
that'd
a
be
purse,
awesome.
right? So not my idea, somebody else's. So I thought kudos to Green and Stark for the insane spots they did. Io took a lot of stuff as well. And I love that Green's huge spot led directly to the finish. It makes it even more memorable. And also, because it started out with her being afraid of a ladder and no one even thinking they needed to deal with her. Really fun match. I thought a lot better than the men's. I gave it 4.25. Like, I had fun watching this match.
That is funny because that's what Observer gave it.
Did they? So I agree.
I'll go.
You're always a little behind, I feel
I'll
like.
go 4.
Yeah.
Because like it's good. It's just I don't know. It could have been a little more to get a 4-star, but it was
I
entertaining.
thought a lot of
so
memorable stuff packed
it-
into 17.
7.81 for the cage match.
So a bit lower than what I had. But yeah, you enjoyed it as well, I think, right? Would you say match of the show?
Yeah, it's not really close.
Yes. Then we got Tiffany Stratton backstage with Trish. I thought it was a pretty funny interaction. It's basically Trish trying to give her advice, and Stratton essentially calls her old, right? And it goes from there. Then we get the main event. It's the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu. Tonga Loa is there as well.
Camacho.
He botched his only thing he had to do in this match, basically.
He's not in the match. And I saw some, because I was watching Stash Clubs, they had the hot takes video.
Yeah.
And someone said that Fatu's not interesting, or like he doesn't make things interesting. I'd argue, and I think
The
you agree,
only thing.
he's the only one I care
He
about.
outshines all of them.
Oh, he does. Their fears are absolutely validated because everything he does interests me. Like, just because his viciousness is actually frightening. Just because he looks like a savage
His
and he acts like a
intensity
savage.
is next level.
His facial expressions and his mannerisms are just like perfect. Like he's the new Umaga, if that's what they want. It's not. It was never Solo. It's him. He's crazy. He's crazy looking. He acts what he's supposed to be perfectly.
He feels like he's barely in control, right? Like,
yeah,
he's unhinged.
like he just like, I don't know. There's just something about him. It's just, and just like all the facial expressions he makes, he just looks like a madman. And like
he does.
How like the ferocity he goes with, kind of like Breaker. Like it's actually scary sometimes.
So they're taking on Rhodes, Orton, Kevin Owens. So neither of us, speaking
New
for
Legacy?
you and me, are super interested in this match.
Oh, I don't care. It's one of those like tag matches. It's what plagued Fastlane last year. It's just those tag matches with no stakes.
Only Fatu interests me on one side, and the other team seems cobbled together. I don't watch SmackDown, so it just feels like
pretty much
for a main event on a pay-per-view.
Orton and Owens have been fighting the Bloodline for a decent bit, right? Since remember they had that Street Fight Backlash that was decent when Camacho debuted.
Yeah.
And then Solo attacked Cody after his match with AJ and Scotland because title.
Right.
So Cody's just here by proxy of the
they
title.
They got to get him on the show.
Just because title.
Yeah.
Solo want belt.
I have Cody's wearing a gross jacket. Thank God we can skip his and Orton's entrances because they're really long. Great reaction for Owens. When he gets in, he dominates Tama Tonga. Immediate draping DDT to Fatu. I kind of hated that. I thought he shouldn't be taking big offense right away.
Real soon.
But he pops right back up as Orton's trying to do his RKO taunt. And then Fatu hits a Samoan drop, but tags out right away. So I was like, oh, they're kind of giving us a taste, and then he's gone. Heels isolate Orton until he can tag Kevin Owens, who cleans house. Bloodline take control of Owens. Things slow down. Solo hip attack. Then Fatu tags in and does it way better. Remember, they shouldn't have done them back to back.
He killed
his
Owens on that. Oh
way
my
better.
God.
Yeah. Fatu runs over Owens with a back elbow.
He's got it.
Even his back elbow, right? The viciousness and the speed he comes at it looks awesome.
He's and we were saying he's definitely trimmed up.
He has. He's way smaller than when I saw him in MLW.
Yeah. He's like lost 14 pounds of muscle.
More isolation of Owens in the corner. Tonga Loa pulls Orton off the apron to stop an Owens tag.
Whom?
What's his face?
Camacho.
Cody tags in, takes out Solo with the power slam before taking out the other two Bloodline. Dives onto Solo. Dives onto Solo on the floor, then Tongaloa, who slams his head against the announce table. Fatu comes over but gets backdropped over the barricade. Solo spears Cody when Cody gets back in the ring for a near fall. Ref gets taken out by Solo. Cody hits a crossroads, but there's no ref. Owens frog splash to Solo, then an RKO. Cody clears the announce table. They set up for a shield bomb, but
Which he
Fatu...
actually called too. I'll never forget
They
the
did.
first time he called the shield bomb in 2017.
So creative.
I thought it was so dumb.
Stroke of genius.
I was a child and I still thought it was stupid.
It's true. Fatu comes in to stop. The ref gets taken out again. Giant prime bottle to Fatu, and KO hits a splash to Fatu through the announce
That did
table.
look pretty cool.
The audio is buzzing briefly after that. Tongaloa can't even hit a low blow. He takes an RKO, and so does Tama-Tonga.
Yeah, so Owens has regular Tonga up for
Regular size Rudy, right?
Nice. Yeah, he's got Tama up for like a package pile driver, and like Camacho's supposed to come in from behind and like low blow him.
Misses.
And like he like misses at first, and he kind of bonks Tonga's head, and then he kind of hits it. It was like he kind of botched his debut too, so this is why he's not wrestling. It's like, why did we bring him in?
Because he fits the bloodline.
Does he really though? Because he's the Tongan. Like
if they want him to.
Okay, that's fair. But like, Rikishi's got a fourth child. We
Right.
could bring him. Like
It
that
couldn't be worse.
It can't be worse than Camacho.
He's
Yeah, 'cause
7.
it's like,
He's 7 years old. Bring
and
him in.
honestly, I didn't know he was this bad because like I never really watched much Guerrillas of Destiny, but I thought they were like, well, from what I heard, I thought they're supposed to be some
I
great
don't
tag
mind.
team. Tama can go.
I don't mind Tama. Tongaloa's never been impressive. Never.
I mean, he did have, I think, the first takeover match ever. So
Yeah, he did. Solo with a spike to Orton. Cody with 2 crossroads to Solo before Fatu hits a twisting thing off the top and an impaler to Cody. He holds Cody. Solo hits the spike. Ref gets thrown back in the ring. Counts the fall. You said 24 minutes, something like that?
24 or something.
I don't know, man. This kind of feels like the budget version
Boring.
of the Bloodline to me.
We're all just waiting for Roman to come back, and we're gonna do the whole Civil War thing, and it'll be cool and whatever. We're all just waiting for that. We know what we're in for.
I thought like as a trios match, it was totally fine, right? But it's just
It was fine, but you're begging for me to care here.
Fatu looked good. Solo took a million finishers. And Fatu came to the rescue, sort of thing.
Yeah, Solo kind of as a tribal chief looks like a little bitch.
A little, right? And
Right.
Fatu ended up looking good.
I buy Solo as the Bloodlines guy as much as I buy Priest as champion, and that's not a ringing endorsement.
Solo's the perfect, like, silent complementary piece.
That's
He's
why he
not
was the good
leader.
enforcer. But like, and he did get Umaga comparisons, but like I said, that's Fatu.
And I don't
Because
think
Fatu is a mad lad, and Umaga was
Yes.
special, and I think Fatu is special.
I don't think Jacob would be a leader either.
I think he
As much as I think he's awesome.
Because he lead that faction in. Didn't he have Contra in
He did.
MLW? So he could
is
do it.
Contra? Whatever it was.
I think
liked
so, yeah.
It's
Because
true.
he can talk. So I disagree. I would much rather have Fatu lead than this. Actually, no, I don't want to lead this because Camacho sucks.
So I thought this was a good trios, but very different from what we see on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it was fine.
I would have liked it better if they set up a story and stuff. I
They
thought it
did,
was
but I don't care.
a good but not amazing main event. I went 3 3/4 actually. I liked
That's
it.
far
Enough.
too generous. I'm gonna go 3 1/4 because I don't care.
Fair enough. What were the ratings elsewhere?
Oh, for the I just closed it too. I'm so dumb. I'm pretty sure it was like yours.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match. It's just I don't care about the story, so it can't ascend into like
all right, we're back.
the peak levels, you know?
Yeah, 3 3/4. Called
Nice.
it. And 5.83 for the votes.
Ooh, much lower. So I did math. This puts it at a B pay-per-view with the women's Money in the Bank match, bringing
in the
up
bench.
Money in the Bank match, bringing up the average.
That's the country version.
I thought nothing was bad, but that match was the only one where I'm like, if you didn't see the show, you should go see that. So a B, almost a B minus, I would say.
B minus. I don't care.
All right, so let's move into Heatwave, where we went.
We can talk about the store first, I
And
guess. Right?
Everything just worked out for us, right?
Oh, it was a good night. I was no longer diseased either.
Yeah, true. Your 9 million mosquito bites had sort of gotten
We're
better.
starting to dissipate, yeah.
And just traffic on the way down was reasonable. We got our parking really fast, which is sometimes a challenge. And then we walked to dinner. We walked to they had a merch shop set up at where we go, and we've talked about Smash Wrestling
exactly
before,
the same spot too, because like they had
where the
Toronto
ring is.
exactly where it is.
So they had their merch shop there. So we have our favorite parking spot in a downtown hotel, and it was like a 4-minute walk.
Which we
to that.
only use for parking now since my aunt screwed us.
Yeah, that's right. If she listens, she knows what she did.
You know what you did.
Yeah. So we parked there. So everything was no more than a 10-minute walk, right? So we could go grab merch, including this.
Yeah. So I got a few shirts.
Yeah.
I got Wyatt 6. I got this gnarly looking Fiend one with like one of the concept Fiends, and then I got Jacob Fatu's,
which I wanted. They did not have any.
Yeah, we'll have to order one for you because it looks sweet. And I got like this weird Sami Zayn shirt. It's like got like a pattern all over, and it's got like designs on the side. I'm not sure what the deal was, but the figures were disappointing.
For a wrestling shirt, it's different.
They
figures
only had
were weak,
basics, and one of them was carrying cross. So get out.
Right.
And then so they had replica belts there. They had, I think, like some of the current ones, and then there was like this limited edition undisputed Money in the Bank. I think 1 to 20, but it's like 600 something. And they had these mini belts here, so it comes in like this.
It's nice
case thingy. Which is cool. And then you open it, and I'll keep
an
it open
unboxing,
for
if
the
you
rest.
will. It's our first unboxing on FNS.
I guess. Well, technically, I threw out the box, but it's like a mini world heavyweight title. It's like
of like the same quality, so like
it's
super
quality,
good leather and heavy,
and so it's like it looks like that. And it's got like special side plates, and it's got like this on the back of the strap.
So that was his.
Maybe I'll send you the picture, and then you can put it up later. I have
compromise of not buying a full size belt was to start with that, which is pretty cool.
Do that, and then it's just there for the rest. But yeah, so we got that, and it was a super nice setup and everything. Like,
and it's just honestly nice to be able to buy all the stuff you want, walk back to the car before you go in. You're not already in the stadium, arena, whatever, so you don't have to
we didn't
leave.
even get a chance to look at the NXT merch, which is fine, because I don't think there's much I need anyways.
So then we cruised right into the show at like 6:30, took our seats. Basically, the only match of the pre-show was about to start. Like, everything just flowed. Seats were nice. One side was empty. If people didn't know this, for all you people like AEW can't draw, well, NXT, the entire
hard
side,
like not the hard cam side, but the side with the hard cam,
right,
was like nothing,
black,
basically.
like tarped off, and
some even like the floor seats for a while, it was looking pretty.
Yes, the floor to our right, to like
to the left of the stage, I guess.
Stage left.
Stage left, yeah,
was pretty empty
for
quite
a little while, yeah.
But anyways,
I got videos of all the entrances, and then like I think one match clip from the tag match.
Yeah, and so on this show there was stuff in between each match to the point of annoyance for me.
Yeah,
right?
They played
the Rock thing was annoying.
That they played that at Money in the Bank too, because we watched Money in the Bank after.
We did
the whole weekend, so I was like, oh my, because like when we're in there live, obviously we had no choice but to watch it, and it was like 2 minutes of The Rock talking about the lead up to Main Event.
It was for all of it, basically.
Yeah, it was the behind the scenes thing, because they used to do that on the network. It was WWE or whatever, and they do it for each year's Mania, right? But that was nice because it was a full network thing, and you could just ignore it. He came
across so heely to me.
I guess because he was the heel.
It was kind of like, oh, Rock, you're the best, and it should be all about you. And now I was like, I know but we should make it about Cody this time, because
we all know,
even though I'm the bigger star, I'm so magnanimous.
We all know he didn't want to. It's just everyone like kind of coerced him into it, because no one wanted, like, because the way they went about that was stupid. Because like the one thing that they said was right is that any other time you do that, Rock Roman is like what everybody wants, but they did it the stupidest way possible.
So we rolled in right for the pre-show match, which was Petrovic and Grace, being a can they coexist, but both Canadian.
Yeah.
And Petrovic was wearing,
I think it's We the North on her ass.
Right. Against Jasmine Nix and JC Jane.
Who are from elsewhere.
She have 2 masks.
She did take one off and put it on the post. I think she took off the Cody one.
So my only notes, pretty basic match with the crowd really behind Grace, who benefited from a hot tag in the middle of this somewhere.
It was really weird seeing her, like, baby facing.
It was. Nix goes for a roll up. Grace pulls her hair from the floor to reverse the roll up, allowing Petrovic to get the pin after about 7.5 minutes. Super basic match, but it was a way to get Petrovic and Grace a win in front of the home crowd, right? And Grace's facial expressions and stuff, she's really fun.
Yeah, she does do well. I think her offense needs some work, because that elbow from the middle rope to the back is super lame, but like. This got a 5.75 based on 64 votes.
I didn't even rate it. It's a perfectly
7 minutes 40 seconds
acceptable, like,
it was fine
pre-show match.
It's a nice way to get some hometown people on without like much weight to it, so I think it's totally fair.
So main show proper, It's Oba, Femi, Wesley. Now, I don't know if this came across better
Oba
on TV
feminist.
or what, because people love this match.
I
And
found
we
it
were in a good
disappointing, if
mood. It's
anything.
not like we were, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We had
and like this was honestly one of the matches I was looking most forward to because I know both of them are pretty reliable.
So I don't
Oba,
know.
like relative to his experience, I think is pretty reliable.
He is.
Granted,
I've liked-
it's been in multi-man matches, so that might be
correct.
the kicker.
So Lee early on slips on the ropes here, right? A couple of
That was
awkward
one of the
moments
botches, yeah.
in this throughout, I thought. Femi flings Lee into the ring apron
like
at one point,
Oh wait, no, that's not what I was thinking.
and
There's
he ends
another
up
one.
like halfway under the ring, right? And barely
was
able to
cool.
make the
Yeah.
10 count. That looked good. We get big slaps to Lee, numerous backbreakers, and a shoulder breaker from Femi. Femi counters a Hurricane Rana into a power bomb. Lee does hit a cardiac kick for a near fall. Femi then blocks a couple other attempts at the cardiac kick, throws Lee, and hits his basically finishing power bomb after about 16
Remember,
minutes.
there's that one like F10 where he absolutely chucked him.
Just
That looked crazy live, just because see how high he got.
crazy.
Like, that was insane.
So there were a couple of impressive moves from Femi. Lee had some nice flurries, but I thought Femi was like, I would almost call it beyond deliberate. It took me out of it a little bit. Like,
yeah, and I feel like they could have done the David Goliath thing a lot better. Like, I don't know, I liked it, but honestly, it just disappointed me more than things. I was just expecting more.
And I don't think they want to push Femi past about 15 minutes at this point.
That's
maybe
fair.
It's too short to tell the really good David and Goliath story.
I guess
I don't
so,
know.
but I don't know. I still feel like they could have done better.
But at the final portion leading to the finish, I thought was stronger. I thought like solid but underwhelming.
It got plagued by some slip ups too.
I went 3.25 stars.
That's what Observer gave it.
Okay.
I'd agree.
That's the first one I've seen kind of in line with.
I'd
me.
agree.
Everyone else, what?
I
did you have
think he
cage
agreed
match
with
there?
you on the Money in the Bank main
Yeah.
event. I'm pretty sure.
And cage match, I think had this a lot higher. No?
Oh yeah, 8.17
Yeah,
based
that's
on
wild to
34
me.
votes. No.
That's like a plus 4-star match. No. NXT North American Women's Championship match. I will say you were very pleasantly surprised by this. I think
it was totally solid.
As much as the previous one underdelivered, this kind of overdelivered. For
yeah,
me, right?
I would say so.
So it's Kalani Jordan
As
defending
someone who's not a fan of either of these people.
against Saul Ruka, and it's also babyface, and no turn, nothing came out of this. They ended up.
I kind of thought based on the way
classy.
they're celebrating, Saul Ruka was gonna.
Me too.
And especially because everybody
You're
turns
waiting
heel.
for it, right?
Everybody
Right.
turns heel, like Henley has lately. I
If
feel
you're
like
a
that's the
wrestling
move.
fan, it felt like a moment where they could do it.
feel like
I didn't want them
women-
to, or
women
think they
turn
should.
heel so much too,
Right.
Because like Statlander did too recently. Like
Yeah.
Perez, like
Right.
I can keep going.
Right. Lots of cartwheels and handstands to avoid moves early on, and I'm not saying that.
I think it was Osprey or Ricochet who said it was a female version of both of them, and it was like I thought that was kind of funny.
And I'm not being critical.
Decent
Like
props.
it's impressive, right?
It was
I'm just
decent here,
summarizing.
and it felt like a decent way to incorporate both their backgrounds, which are pretty
Yeah.
similar. So like I don't love when they incorporate that unnecessarily into offense, but when it's like they're kind of evading each other and like they're similar, so it was okay. Like it worked well enough for me.
And this is where I sort of noticed that there's a lot of weird heel face dynamics on this show, right? Like even going to the pre-show, you've got 3 heels and a face in
But then
a
one of the
tag.
heels is a face.
Femi's kind of a tweener, so I don't know
Wesley's a face.
So these are both baby faces,
Yeah.
right? Even Fraser Axiom and Chase U,
Face.
all baby. So interesting. But anyways, sorry, I noticed at this point. So Lonnie hit her tornado to the floor. Ruka hit a 450 clothesline.
That was kind of cool.
That was pretty wild. Ruka with a PK on the apron and a springboard moonsault to the floor. Second rope Rana, split-legged moonsault. Kalani retains in under 12 minutes. I'm obviously underselling some of the stuff in the middle. I just went a couple of highlights. So not very long, right? But
not crazy
you
long.
go ahead.
I thought they did pretty well. Like I thought everything flowed decently, and like it didn't look like too much like they didn't know what they were doing. I feel like there wasn't a ton of negative space, which was solid. And like some of the stuff they pull off is kind of cool.
I think like it was clearly a bunch of it was choreographed, and that's not a criticism either.
No, I thought
because-
they put together a pretty solid effort.
and they performed it
Considering
well.
they're
There
both really
weren't
new.
mistakes.
Yeah, they did it
a lot
well.
of
Yeah,
stuff.
unlike the opener, there wasn't as many mistakes. And I thought like it was a decent, just like basically they're both really similar. They're evenly matched, and like
Right.
Jordan kind of eked out the win here. And so I thought like it wasn't an amazing match or anything, but like given who was involved and what
Right.
I expected
And what
from
it could
it,
have been.
I thought it was pretty good because I honestly, this is one of those matches I didn't care about. And if anything, I would say it's the better of the 2 women's matches on the show, which is surprising.
100% agree.
And
that's
so
not what I expected.
Observer gave it 3.5.
I did too.
I'll agree with that, honestly.
I gave it. That's funny.
Was
I
pleasantly
agree with
surprised with that. 7.99 based on the cage match.
That's high.
It's a little high,
That's
but
4 stars.
I did enjoy it surprisingly. So
Me too.
Solid effort from them.
I thought they put a lot into that 12 minutes. All of it was pretty clean, like impressive athletically. They're starting to wrestle more too. So yeah. I was quite happy.
Yeah,
with
I was
this.
worried it'd be too many like rest holds or the basic offense I've seen on like the level up matches and
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought that was kept to a solid minimum.
And this is what the North American women's is about, I think, right? They're perfect examples of this.
I think so, yeah. That's why I think it's like serving a good purpose. And for the main roster, they don't even get all their belts on the show now.
Right.
So there's really no need for more. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think 5 matches is too little.
They feel the need to fill it with stuff, which is annoying.
If you're going to fill it with so much filler, go 6 or 7 matches.
And less filler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we get a Gallus vignette, and the only reason I bring it up is because
it is actually fresh. So it's like, and it was furthering a story. So it was actually worth
really
something.
hard to understand through the arena speakers.
I think I understood.
I was
remember
struggling
what it was.
to get what it was. And then we get the NXT Tag Team Championship match. It's Fraser and Axiom Fraxium taking on Chase U, which is Chase and Duke Hudson in this iteration. But Osborne and Thea Hale are there.
In different colored shirts.
And we noticed that Hale gets her own camera operator.
Yeah.
Like just trained up because she's so
it makes sense.
Energetic and over the top that there's a guy just filming her the whole time to
Which
get
sounds weird out of context.
Yeah, it does. And I think that we maybe missed a vignette before this where Fraser had issues getting into the building and Axiom was annoyed because again it's this whole like you're spreading yourself too thin and
I
going
feel like
for other
they should have
titles.
shown us that though. Usually they play them on the screen.
Maybe
so
we didn't see it. I heard someone else talk about it.
I don't know. It's weird. It's not like we didn't get up.
No, we didn't leave our seats at all. Holds encounters between Axiom and Chase to start. Hudson with a gutbuster and a senton to Axiom.
Chase looks ridiculous being the only one just in a hoodie and
yeah.
Like the fact that he hasn't had ring gear yet still it baffles me.
He's a professor, okay?
But like Duke even just wrestles in the shirt and trunks. That makes sense. Do that. Or like shirt and tights.
Remember Duke with it was like a gut buster and then that was a senton on.
That was really
both
cool.
At the same
yeah,
time.
It was like a gut check while doing a senton. Yeah.
Axiom and Fraser with dives before a frog splash from Axiom and a 450 from Fraser. Hudson hits a Stratisfaction, which I guess he's been doing lately. Top rope Spanish fly and Phoenix splash by the champs. But Chase breaks up the pin
by stepping off of Fraser and hitting a destroyer on Axiom. That's the clip I got.
That's an awesome spot.
It was sweet. Yeah, the crowd really
so smooth.
Everyone popped for that one.
Was
that
not
awesome.
Expecting that.
No,
for
it was really cool.
Chase goes up top. Fraser leaps up, hits a superplex, chasing the dragon by the champ.
Kind of like a super kick variant, though.
Yeah, it was. Fraser dives onto Hudson on the floor to take him out. Axiom hits the golden ratio to Chase. Champs retain after almost 17 minutes. I picked this as well.
Yeah.
This
one was
my
super fun.
Favorite match to this point on the show, right?
Yeah, it's in contention for my favorite match.
Yeah. And they did further the story because there was some miscommunication, right? Like he
did kick him.
Fraser kicked Axiom, I think, twice throughout this match.
At least once.
I
don't remember.
And they still retained and seemed all happy with each other afterwards. So we'll see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Duke Hudson has a really effective hot tag. He got a chance to showcase that.
It's a little basic, but yeah.
But that's his thing, right? He's kind of the big power-ish guy. He's not going to do anything too crazy. Like Stratisfaction's as risky as he's getting, basically. Axiom and Fraser are super entertaining.
They're so great. I love them.
I went 3 3/4 stars for this.
You could get them against ABC or Rascals, and that'd be awesome.
I thought really fun tag match, 3 3/4.
I'll agree with that. Observer gave it 4 1/4.
It's aggressive.
I would maybe lean towards 4, but I can't quite go there.
Dave was in a good mood for this show.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. It was super fun and definitely the highlight so far.
Then we get to the low light, right?
Undoubtedly.
After that highlight. And it is...
Not just because it's the only blemish on my record, I think.
And I got it right, correct? Yes, I did. NXT Women's Championship match. It's Roxanne Perez defending against Lola Vice. So, again, it is a heel face dynamic, but it's fresh babyface Lola Vice who just...
Also, they replayed her crying in the vignette.
Yeah, they did. It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
It's so bad.
So
I can't watch it.
Part of the story of this is Perez ducks a back fist out on the floor and Lola Vice hits the ring post really hard.
And they do the thing where the screen's shorting out, which used to be cool to me, but now it's like it really feels
like it's engineered.
Yeah.
So Perez would then target Vice's arm for much of this, which is something I like. So that should be something I like. She even did, I thought it was cool. She had the arm trapped and did a Northern Lights suplex on the floor, right? That was kind of cool. Pop rocks on the announce table, crossface
That was pretty cool.
in the ring, trapping the injured arm. 3 more pop rocks, kind of. Remember, it was
She did one, botched one, and did another one for
right,
the win.
and it's over after 13 minutes.
13:08.
So
Observer says 4.25.
no, stop. That's impossible.
David, 7.23 for cage match rating.
Wow,
Did I mention 8.99 for the tag title match as well?
Wow. Okay, so I'm a monster because I went 2.5 stars. I didn't like
I'll
this.
go 2.5. It bored me. Honestly, in hindsight, this should have been my bathroom break.
I like Perez. I like Vice. I like limb targeting, but I couldn't get into this.
It was disjointed. It just felt like it was missing something.
I don't want to say it was a dud, but it was really underwhelming.
Kind of was a dud.
And then the multiple finishers, one of them being completely botched.
That they cut out of the replay.
But I had issues before that, right? I don't know if it's a chemistry issue or if Vice isn't ready, but it's not
I guess she might be a North American person for a bit.
But it was like 13 minutes. It's not like that's fair. That's where I think she should be as a heel, and you need one in that area, right? So
but then who's on Perez's level?
This was the low point for me.
Cora Jade?
People they're bringing in.
I guess Julia and Vaquer. That's it.
Are the next two. So yeah, very disappointing.
Yeah, this one underwhelmed. The other women's match was far better, which is very surprising.
And then we get a super fun main event out of it, which is nice. So it's a 4-way for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams, the champ,
Willie,
defending against Javon Evans, who stood out in this, I thought.
Absolutely.
He's kind of undeniable at this point. Ethan Page, Sean Spears.
Trick is still... I will say it was cool to see Trick's entrance live just because everyone's...
Yes, it's a good
entrance.
It's a good energy to it, for sure.
Yeah, no issue with Trick's charisma and everything.
So I didn't notice live, but Page was wearing a Resident of USA
I remember
jacket.
I told you, yeah. Which
so
is funny because he's healing it up and because, usually you take the chance to be the hometown hero, but I like that he goes the opposite
I am not.
way.
Yeah. Trick seems to have Harlem Heat inspired tights, I think it was.
He was wearing white, and as was Spears. Spears had the cool chairman entrance again.
He did.
We saw him sitting there though
with his
in
mask.
The dark.
Yeah.
Before they threw out the entrance.
While who was still making his entrance? Evans?
Yes.
And then Spears comes out early and is sitting in the chair.
Spears' entrance was so much cooler with his AEW theme though.
Yeah. Not much about him's cool, I don't think. Although he did get some 10 chants. That was fun.
I enjoyed that.
Page exits the ring, just being the smart heel, right? Like, you guys can fight it. But Evans dives onto him while Spears and Trick fight in the ring. The heels face off and shake hands, but then poke each other in the eye at the same time.
that made me laugh.
Spears with chair shots. He hits a Death Valley driver onto a chair in the corner.
That was pretty cool. It was. Cool.
Evans vaults over the turnbuckle and drives Trick through the barricade.
That was cool because the barricade spot that actually surprised me, and I was like, because every time they do the barricade spot, Michael was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "You do this so many times, it's not."
And it's always a spear into it.
It's always a spear, and it's predictable, and this is cool, and just Javon's crazy,
and just the height he gets is impressive.
I'd like to see Oba chuck him.
Death Valley driver to Evans off the top rope. It's a
C4. How dare you?
Sorry. But Page gets the 2 count after tossing Spears aside. Evans with a Spanish fly on Page, then a huge springboard cutter for 2.
Very nice.
Spears tries to superplex Evans to the floor, but Evans blocks it. Then Evans with a cutter from the top rope and a springboard corkscrew splash of some kind.
His finisher, I think, right? That finishing one he does.
It looks crazy. Evans tries another springboard, but Trick pushes him off through the announce table.
That was pretty crazy.
Looked wild, too.
He both hit off the edge and went through it. Yes. It looked gnarly.
Maximum impact, it looked like.
It looked bad.
And his selling for a 20-year-old is, he's a really good seller.
He looks like he gets ragdolled, too.
He does.
He's pretty great.
Spears evades a kick from Trick and puts him in a sharpshooter. Nice little moment there in Canada, right? That. Page breaks it up with a super kick and hits an Ego's Edge on Trick for 2 as Evans puts Trick's foot on the ropes. Go ahead.
No, that's not. That's probably the one blemish on this match for me is that and that might be his inexperience because I think he probably should have pulled him out.
Well, I think so too.
This might have been the plan and they just messed up. I don't know. I don't know who's at fault, but that's not how this works.
Nope, not.
There's no rope breaks.
There's no DQs, no anything.
Exactly.
Right? So there's no rules.
You have to be factoring in the decision to lose your title.
Trick hits the trick shot on Evans and Page
which bounces him into Spears because I think Page moved out of the way. So okay, so it was
Go ahead.
You have Spears on the apron,
yes,
and Javon's in front of him. I think Page moves out of the way, right? So trick shot to Javon because he was going for Ego,
right?
And so that knocks Spears off the apron. Then I think Trick ducks a shot from Page. trick shot to Paige. Paige lands on Javon. Spears pulls Trick out of the ring.
Right.
And Paige gets the accidental pin.
And
which
Paige is
I saw someone point out is a callback to Backlash 2007 when they had a four-way with Cena, Michaels, Edge, Norton. And they did a similar thing.
I thought it was cool because Paige
really cool.
comes to and is told, "Hey, you won." He didn't even know he won, right?
Yeah.
So
and the trick shot actually looks solid.
But it did. It was of course it's a choreographed finish. I thought it worked and was a little bit creative.
It came off pretty
enjoyed
naturally,
it.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. So
and I was super pumped, because
new champ Ethan
we
Page,
called it, but in the back of my mind, I was like, they're not actually gonna do it.
I was partly picking it because I wanted it.
That's kind of what I was doing, and I was not. I wasn't 100% sure that they would do it.
It kind of makes sense, though.
It does,
because Trick's run's been a bit underwhelming, right?
And I think Ego's apparently now he's the fastest person to win the NXT title upon.
Nice.
I think it was Owens before, but now it's
nice.
Yeah, because he came along to it pretty fast. I think 6 weeks.
I really enjoyed this. I thought Evans stood out. Insane athleticism and pretty advanced selling for a 20-year-old. I've seen some people criticize the finish, right? But I thought it was creative.
Well done.
And allows Paige to win, and he can talk about it differently. It can be different when he retells the story, right? So I think it worked as it was supposed to. The veterans supported the youngsters. Everybody came away looking good.
Everyone played their part really well.
I
even
agree.
Spears.
And memorable with Evans with a really memorable showing in his first PLE, right?
Absolutely.
He looked great. So I thought this was really strong. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah. So observers 4.5.
Wow.
Cage matches 9.1. So,
wow. So that's more than 4.5.
So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think 4 is perfect.
Really
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and if I was gonna go with NXT match of the year, it's one of my leading candidates.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be good enough to maybe we'll nominate it just to throw them a bone because I did really enjoy it, and right now it's just AEW stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll at least keep it in my short list because I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
I thought it was one of my favorite NXT matches of the year.
Yes, very fun.
Along with the Stand to Deliver 3-way, probably.
They seem to be getting the multi-man stuff. And that makes sense when you have some inexperienced guys. Right?
Yeah, well, because they used Javon perfectly here.
They did. So, sometimes I go math, sometimes I go by feel. So math tells me this is a C+. I, in person, enjoyed it more than that. So I bumped it up on enjoyment factor, maybe because I was there or whatever. But I gave it a B-. I had fun at that show.
Yeah, I would agree. Wait, what did I give Money in the Bank? Did I give it a B-? I think I did, right?
I think so.
I'll give it a B because I enjoyed it more than Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
so
fun being
there.
Part 6,
I was there. Yeah, I think that definitely helps, and just to have. I mean, it's kind of a balance with one match under-delivering and one over-delivering. Actually, a couple under-delivering. Okay, I'll go B-. That makes more sense.
And the tag match, really good. Main event,
better
really
than
good.
Money in the Bank, I think. For me.
Fun show.
So I enjoyed it. Yeah,
we went.
And at least the main event sticks the landing because that's what you want, if anything.
Glad to say you enjoyed it better because it was much more affordable to go to Heatwave than a Money in the Bank. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's going to wrap up that segment. We'll move back into what we do every week, and that's deep dive into this Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite.